Hi, I'm Christy. I'm here to talk to you today about the Job Seekers Challenge, the job search solution with using leveraging your Gen AI is going to help you feel confident. It's going to help you build a career coach that you know understands your skills. So jump in today with me as we explore the possibilities. Identifying true job opportunities and understanding market demand are common hurdles. Beyond that, formatting resumes and just really understanding market research and what companies are really aligned with your skills. So being able to discern this in a personal way is how your job search agent is going to be most dynamic for you. So I want to talk today about how we're going to work through navigating that mental overload of formatting resume after resume, and really just the hunt and research of trying to find jobs it can feel like a lot. So utilizing a Gen AI model is going to be very advantageous for you. So we're going to learn how to train it to understand our skills, understand the labor market. We're going to learn basically how to train our model. So just a very, very basic overview. Your Gen AI is generative artificial intelligence. And these are models that are trained on the internet. It has a wealth of knowledge available to it. However, if we don't spend time to we hear prompt engineering, we hear these terms, but if we're not actually training the model to get it on the right track to understand what it is that we want to use it for, it's going to give you very broad examples of its knowledge. You want to hone in the work that the model's going to do for you. You want to develop it basically. But hopefully, if you have any questions on this or anything like that, connect with me so that we can go through it together. So let's listen to some examples of how people might use Gen AI.
I was laid off after 8 years at the same company. I worked 3 different departments with different job titles and responsibilities. I want to change careers to a more in-demand job like machine learning, but I do not know where to start.
I graduated college 2 years ago, and finding work in my desired field has seemed hopeless. I may need to change fields.
Does any of that sound like you? Every one of us has a unique story with different skills and aptitudes that we have to offer. And we want to make sure that we're able to target those opportunities. Sometimes lack of self-confidence in our skills or just difficulty articulating our value, even missing nuanced accomplishments can cost us the right opportunity. So don't start your job search by trying to perfect a resume. So when you go to open a window, a chat, basically we all know what a chat is, right? So you open a window and now you're talking to the computer. If you go to open a chat and you paste a resume and you've not trained your model and you say, I want this resume for this job description, and it will do that for you. You can do that. There's lots of different extensions out here that are AI that you can paste your resume in it and give it the job description. It matches the concepts. It does a good job at doing that analyzing. But what it doesn't have is a unique perspective on all of your accomplishments and skills. It's really relying just on that data you've provided. So today, I really want you to start thinking about training your model so that it's your customized career coach. So we are going to show you how to build that chain of thought, basically build in that recollection, that recall. But I want you to remember this if you have a pen. thoughtfully create really excellent input. So when you thoughtfully create really excellent input, you are going to be able to make sure your model understands you. Your information you provided is going to guide the model in being your career coach. So, a robust, quantified, thoroughly articulated understanding of your unique professional profile is going to be part of the comprehensive context of building out resumes and helping you build a professional pitch, and then also really helping you build your confidence. So, let's get into it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we have a doc sheet opened, and we want to build out a list. We want to gather all of the company websites that we have worked at, and we are going to state the time and days, like the start and end date that we worked at a place, and this company name, company website, start and end date, and title. All titles, if you've had multiple. Especially, let's say, we'll use some of those examples. Maybe student intern, apprentice. Maybe you started at one position and you worked your way up and it was the same company. All of these are those nuance that you want to provide. I was a recruiter with X company. Here's their website from this time to this time. I started in this department and was trained to do this position. I worked with these teams. This is what I did. This was what was required of me, and this is how I achieved it. So, maybe you just kind of telling a story, and then that way your model's going to be able to take that information and analyze it and quantify it. And again, you're going to go through very long form, almost just very natural language, just to get it to be able to understand. So identifying your in-demand jobs is a part of your job hunt. Identifying your in-demand skills is a part of the job hunt that can cause mental fatigue. Especially today, we have GenAI, which is an emerging tech, which will kind of change the way we work. So having an understanding of your skill set and how does that compare to the market, this is where you're training your model as your career coach to help you. So now that you have that document all completed with examples of your work and stories of your achievements, all the departments you worked in, all of the job titles, you've also submitted the websites of the companies. You're ready to open up your chat and paste that in. But before you paste that in, you don't want to just throw that in there with no context. It's kind of like walking down the street and somebody just wants to give you a lot of information. You have no idea why they're giving you the information, really want to try to make sure they understand, right? Before you jump in. So you've done the work on your doc. You have all of that. You go to open your chat. You also can save your chat name. So you can save it as search agent. And GEMAI, we also have GEMs that are already kind of trained as career coaches. So those models, if you want to use those, that's fine. What we are doing today is learning about how to customize that model to our specific attributes and skills. So you open your chat and we're going to thoughtfully create excellent input. We're going to give a small text of information to let the model know what we're doing. What we're going to do is say, I am in my job search. I am a new student. I have interned and volunteered. I am interested in these companies. Here are the schools I went to. Here are the websites, the certifications I've obtained, all of this information. And then I want you to help me as my career coach. I will provide you a document for you to analyze, provide your chain of thought on how you will help me in my job search. Now, this is maybe one paragraph you've typed out to your agent. You're starting the conversation. You're just telling it a general idea about yourself. Okay, I am someone who worked at the same company for 30 years. My specialty is, here's the company website. I would like you to work with me as my career coach. Okay, now what's going to happen is you're going to get a response back from your LLM, from your agent, and it's going to give you a list of what it plans to do. So it's going to say, I am ready for you to provide your experience so that I can learn more about you. And I plan to search, for labor and demand labor. It's going to basically give you a list of what it's planning to do, right? So look over that list. This is your format. This is what it's going to be operating on. So if it's not what you want it to be, make sure you're going to respond and say, I like everything that you have, provided in your chain of thought, but make sure make sure you, whatever it is, or you might be good to go. So if it looks good and there's no correction, no constraints that you want to give it, and it looks good, what you're going to do is you're going to say, now I have prepared a document with an essay style of work I've done, and I want you to build a legend resume. There is no restraints on page count, no restraints on bullet count or anything. I just want a long legend of my resume. So you want to remember a good format for training an agent is going to be task, persona, context, reference. So we have given it the task. It knows that it's going to be a career coach. You can change personas. So as a career coach, it can take on a persona of being a hiring manager at a certain company. It can be a, resume writer. It could be a recruiter. It can interview you. These are all different personas that you can change and use over time in your journey. And so now that it knows that it has a job, it's going to build a legend resume, because what you'll do is iterate off of that legend resume. So I'll use myself as an example. I have experience recruiting, and not just recruiting as a corporate recruiter at one company, but in staffing, we actually do business development and sales, and we have a niche that we usually recruit for. So I've worked as a staffing manager for manufacturing, logistics, skilled engineering, skilled labor, also for tech companies, and also for technicians, traveling technicians, engineers. So additionally, I have worked in federal and call center. So I have a pretty broad spectrum of exposure in different enterprises as a recruiter. And so that means that I have a large opportunity to edit and customize resumes. So I used to have different resumes that would say CC. Okay, I'm like, CC is my HR resume, or, Cardiff C. I would change the names and really try to, I don't know why I didn't focus in more narrowly, but what we're going to do is have a legend resume, and we're going to have our agent know everything about our attributes. Now, in order to make sure it knows what our KSAs are, because we needed to understand our skills and how does it apply to the job. So if we just want to give it, metrics, so built a pipeline XYZ, managed a budget XYZ, these are fine, but let it understand the skills, your knowledge, skills, and abilities. give it ONET, give it Department of Labor, give it websites to analyze, and tell it to specifically focus on your job titles. So I am a tech recruiter, HR ops, a recruiter for manufacturing and logistics, a recruiter for federal. And these are all of the different opportunities, but that you're going to look for in the market, but also you're going to be able to analyze and understand my KSAs. Okay, this is going to become very important for your model to know you, to be able to see where your skills overlap. Okay, so articulating this takes some research. Once you have researched your area, this means you're going to give the agent an opportunity to really fine tune how it works with you. So now that it has built your legend resume, you might want to provide it best practices on resumes. I did this exercise, just FYI. I probably pulled 20 different resume writer websites, and that comes from like Indeed, LinkedIn, all of them. I pulled a lot. I had my agent analyze and find discrepancies, because you could go to one website and another website on resume writing, and one might say to do skills off to the left, one might say not. Remember, now we want to get through the ATS, but we also want to have a somewhat visually appealing resume, right? Because generally speaking, the prettier it is, more aesthetic it is, there's just something psychological about that that might keep your recruiter engaged and looking at that resume. Now, personally, that even looks like, managing your white space, managing your margins, managing spacing, font. All of these things are basic, but again, I digress. You want to provide your model, your agent, all of the information about resume writing, because you're starting your agent on understanding the industry and understanding your experience and understanding what you guys are going to work on together. And now you needed to kind of understand there's some nuance here. So we have some wiggle room on how we do things. And depending on what's best for that industry, you need to train your model on that. Okay, so I let my model tell me, best practices in resume optimization. Okay, so you will learn, the model will learn what industries you should create subfolders for. It will tell you to create subfolders for maybe construction, engineering, logistics, finance. Focus on those industries, not the title. Let your agent do what it does best, and that is pulling lots of different data points, right? So now that you have a legend resume, you're ready to really dig into the market. So you ask your agent, well, if what types of industries should I look for? And so you might save a manufacturing folder, you might save your engineering folder, a logistics folder, a construction folder. And as you find a job and iterate from that job description, you're going to save that new resume in that prospective industry. So just recap a little bit. Now you found a job description, your agent will deconstruct it. It will take a deep, granular analysis of the target job description, and it's going to identify keywords, required skills, and key responsibilities. It's going to skills map your experience, provide an overlap visualization, which means it can map your comprehensive KSAs directly against the job description requirements. It's going to highlight overlaps across diverse experiences, and it will tailor your legend resume. So you will have a tailored resume in seconds. You can request your bullets to be 3, no more than, so like, for example, we want to hit that 2-page resume requirement. And let's say I have, in my 16 years of experience, 8 of them might be tech recruiting. 8 of them might be HR ops. Actually, all 16 are HR ops, but wherever my job opportunity is, I might want to make sure there's 4 bullets in the respective jobs. So I might say, for all of my tech positions, make sure I have 4 bullets and 3 bullets in every other company that's not a tech job. I'm trying to, work with what I got and target my audience. These are the constraints. Those are the requirements. Sorry, that's the context that you're able to really help your model understand. And it will be very intuitive once you build this information out. When it's going to give you a quantifiable resume, and it's going to know basically when you give a job description too, by the way, make sure you give a company website to the job, have it analyze the company, have it analyze the job description, and work from your legend resume to create a tech recruiter resume. All right, so just kind of picking back up on, your agent will have your legend resume. This has no page limit count. For example, there's no bullet count. You've just given it all of your work. So be direct with your declarations, and be short and concise to start any new action. Remember, thoughtfully create excellent input. You're going to be short and concise. Like when I start a new chat, I'm going to say, analyze this job description and website so that we can build a resume. And it will go from there. It will know you're specifying what the job is that you're going to work on together. You're giving it context, like that URL and the job description, and it knows that it's going to work on with you. So, for example, I have something against the verb spearhead it. Okay. And I had to train my model not to use that word. I don't like it. In fact, you can train your model to start your verbs, your action verbs matching your job description. Okay. So if the job description is saying develop, and you are saying create or whatnot, make sure you're matching. So you tell your model to build out your bullets, matching similar words, action verbs as your job description. Okay. Now, persona switching is important because if you are presenting your resume to a hiring, pretend you already submitted that resume and you've talked to the recruiter. You want to know, what does a hiring manager think now? You can switch the persona. You've gone from your career search agent to your recruiter agent to your hiring manager. Okay. Have your model switch to hiring manager and that's your audience, and ask it to interview you. Based on this resume, you are a 15-year hiring manager at this company with this specialty in this department. What questions do you have for me? So then you can kind of interview yourself. Take those questions, put them in a doc, start answering them, give your answers back to your agent, and it will tell you. You can say, tell me the pros and cons or the strengths and weaknesses of my response. Now you're really able to start personalizing your job search. You're starting to build your confidence, and you're staying organized. You know where your manufacturing logistic opportunities are. You know where your finance opportunities are. You are able to kind of match those emails that you are receiving after you apply and coordinate them into appropriate folders. It's very much staying organized is half the battle. So job hunting just really can be hard sometimes. If you're stuck in this predicament, don't fret. Okay, so just reframe your job search and build an agent to relieve some of that fatigue in the process. Beyond the resume customization, by building your skills map and giving you in-depth comprehensive labor market research, your agent will also give you confidence. So I'm a person who thinks that they write better and think better than they speak. Okay. Short form content, Valley Girl type. Yes, that's me. So I have to work on my oral communication a lot, and just like everything, it takes practice. So I think that I can think very smartly and I can write very smartly, but working on presenting my thoughts is something that my career coach can do. So your job search agent will help you achieve a confident, well-informed search and also prepare you for the interview. Knowing what you're worth is the most important thing. I think that builds that confidence. When you're walking into your interview, the second most important thing is to communicate that your worth to the employer. Your resume got you there. They obviously like what they see. You just need to be able to articulate that now. So having a proper assessment of your skills, that takes the guesswork out of common questions that you might have. And knowing that you have practiced is going to be helpful. Oh, so that was an example of achievements that my agent knew about. So the agent knows where my achievements have been, where my strengths are. Okay, it really is determining this for us. So again, we are creating thoughtful, really excellent input, giving it our achievements, the jobs that we're interested in. It's doing research for us on the market. It's telling us what companies and those sectors. It will give you a list of companies if you ask it. Search in this area. So let's say specific city and state for all opportunities and this specific skill set. It will look for all of the different variations of your job title and everything. But it also it knows your personality, it knows your technical skills. It's able to really build out what your pain points are, because you're doing more than just pasting a resume and a job description. You are building out your career coach. So I definitely recommend using the power of AI to help you with this, okay? There are lots of places to go search and study. You can go to YouTube channel called Google Career Certificates. There are lots of free YouTube videos. Even Google has, GenAI for education. There's a lot of different YouTube videos that you can watch information on how to learn, really how to do these prompts to the best, to really get the best out of it that you need. But thank you for watching. I do want to end with this, as well as searching for information on how to use GenAI. It's really AI.gov is out there. And another interesting article is the World Economic Forum for 2025 that published January of 2025. And it does, and I'm going to quote them on this. It says, the culture of an organization is crucial factor in the adoption of new technologies. Think about your culture and how you're going to be adapting Gen AI. It's going to be a tool that your organization can use. Now, we're talking about being a job seeker using Gen AI, but you want to be creative, you want to be smart, and you want to understand that it can understand complex tasks. So all of the things that we wonder about, these are the things that your model can solve for you. And I'm going to finish reading this, but really quick, one article I read was, some CEOs are worried about what they will do in the spare time for using GenAI. Why not ask GenAI, what are things that we could do in our spare time now that you're doing this? Honestly, it might have ideas you never thought about. But the culture of an organization is a crucial factor in the adoption of new technology, such as GenAI. Organizations interviewed for this report stress the importance of change management. Successful introduction of GenAI depends on experiments and finding use cases. This requires a stimulating and supportive culture. For example, it is important to cultivate mindsets such as a future positive attitude, growth mindset, and agility, which are crucial for employees to embrace Gen AI in the workplace. Young technology companies and data-driven organizations tend to adopt new technology easier and faster because they are less hampered by existing established ways of working and embody a data culture and digital literacy. That again is a quote from the World Economic Forum blog from 2025. I hope that maybe you were inspired today to really just go a little bit above and beyond just pasting a resume into resume.io. You can build a resume on any job board that will just compare a job description, but it's truly not doing you any justice and really being that career coach that you might need in order to help you with that job search fatigue that we all get. Stay encouraged, and I hope that you are blessed today. Take care.